All right, today's going to be spraying day. Weeds are starting to come out, so we're going to get some spraying done. And I'm going to show you all the best spray gun you could use for your sprayer. I use a 40-gallon sprayer, but you could use it on a 15-gallon or whatever you have. We're going to go pick it up in a second, but first thing I'm going to do is drop these seats on the side-by-side, which I'll show you a view in a second how this side-by-side looks and why the seats go forward. So it becomes a flatbed. So basically it's a two-in-one here. We have, oh, I forgot to bring this up first. So this side-by-side, it's a four-seater, but also the back seats become into a bed. And I'll show it towards the end. How I flipped this also. I used the tripod to hold the camera, but right now I have the camera mounted on the dash or on the windshield. But one of my favorite things going to be about this video is going to be showing you the spray I use. It gets so much power that it's not a regular wand. And you could buy a bunch of supplies. Like I got it at Rural King. A bunch of other places have it. I'll check and see if Amazon has it. I'll put a link to it. If not, I'll link it to Rural King. If anything, I know for sure that I got some there. So I'm driving around to where I keep the tank, the storage, the lean-to here. Let's turn this off here. Actually, my error. I'm gonna back up into there, to the storage, so I don't have to carry that. How did I forget? Well, I haven't done this in a year. You know, almost a year. The season just started now. This is the first time I'm gonna spray now. And I'll show you why I gotta spray. It's like March 3rd, I think it is. But look at that. Look at all those weeds starting to come out. And this is the rock area. It's not supposed to have any. And it'll get out of control to the point that you're not gonna see the rocks if I don't attack it now. So let me open the little tailgate here. And again, this is a 40-gallon tank, which is the perfect size, as much as I can fit in the back of this. Side by side, and for a golf cart also, it's the perfect size. And I like it better than those 15 or 20-gallon ones because, you know, obviously you don't have to be refilling it as often. And I'll show you now the setup. As soon as I park it, I'll get the tripod out. But realistically, you can get away again with your 15 or 20 or 30, whatever. But it's the nozzle is what's the main thing here. What I suggest everybody to have. The tank is more of a convenience thing, having the bigger one, because obviously you refill less, but this nozzle shoots out like you're extinguishing a fire. So the technology in it is good. Back up into the shop. So we can fill it up in here. As a matter of fact, wait, I forgot one thing. I just bought today the chemical. Still have it behind the car. And the car is inside. Or I have it behind the Jeep, not the truck. Because I went out in the Jeep today. Let me open this up and get it out. Okay. And I bought this, the size I got is the 2.5-gallon concentrated. So this will make, fill this up a bunch of times. Because it's 2 ounces per gallon. So It's 40 gallons here. I use 80 ounces. Do the math, how many ounces are in 2.5 gallons? I would have to, but yeah, it's a bunch of times. Let me close this up. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I opened the third one. There we go. Third one closed, and number one closing. I gotta pick this shop up a little bit of a mess here. Let's get this ready here. So I'm gonna remove the camera from here, put it in regular record mode. And I just realized I started the other video while being in the cart on vertical mode, but I'll continue it on now on horizontal. It's a lot easier to see if someone's watching it on the TV or something. So I did the math, and this exactly does the 40-gallon tank, because it has 320 ounces. That means you could do this 4 times that 40 gallons. So that means it does 160 gallons with this, which is incredible for like 50 bucks. Think about if you buy a little thing at your hardware store of Roundup done, which is the same thing. This has the same ingredients as Roundup, the glyphosate. So you can pay, $10 for a little thing, $20. This does 160. 160 gallons in total. There's 2.5 gallon of concentrated one. Anyways, just thought I'd share that math with you. So the way that I mix it in there, I got a cup around here. I haven't used it since last year, so let's see if that hid somewhere. Where is it at? Might have to pause the video to go find it, because again, I haven't used it since last year, and some things could be moved around. So let me go check, and I'll be right back. So I decided, because I'm going to use this only specifically on this tank, that is, I don't have to be measuring so much, because this does me 4. So I'm just going to divide this in 4 and use this as a measuring. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, but this is past the 8. So what I'll do is I'm going to make lines here. I'm going to get a measuring tape and divide it into 4, and just use the actual tank and not have to go look for that cup that might be at the back right now in the other storage area. So here's what I'll do. This full comes right here. That means 10 inches exactly. So 5 will be half, and then it'll be 2.5 in between here. So it should be right here and right here. So right now, I'm gonna leave it up to here. I'm gonna use this up right now. 1, 2, 3, and then I have this 4th one at the end. And that's how it's gonna work. Make this simple. How about that? I don't have to go get the measuring things. And just different percentages. This is the most normal one, using 2 ounces per gallon. You can make it stronger at 3 or less strong, but I'm going with the standard. And that's gonna work. And I'm gonna stick to that. That's the way I've always been doing it, and it kills it perfect. It's not an overkill that you're just wasting chemical, and it's not under that you need, more chemical at the end or something because it didn't kill it right and you gotta reapply or something. So I'll talk about this nozzle in a minute, but before I do, let me get this situated and water running, and then I'll explain this nozzle and I'll show it and demonstrate it, and you'll see what I mean, that it's not that little flimsy wand. And it actually, to control the pattern, it's just with the trigger here, not touching it in the front with your hands. It's just right here. So you'll see. For right now, let me start getting this going. And this should be done with gloves. I don't, but I wash my hands immediately now. Because believe it or not, this is one of the things that I hate doing. And it's using anything to do with Roundup or any type of herbicide or anything. So let's start putting some of this in there. And measuring. And this is why the cup is good too, but this will work. I just gotta be patient and go little by little. Give me 1 second. All right, done with the phone call. Let's see what we're buying. Still got some more to go. And we're getting close. A little bit more. Right there. We are good. Now, with this 40-gallon one, like I said, this is not a necessity. You could get away with smaller ones, you know, depending on how much you have to spray. I just want to do it in one shot and not refill. What I love about it is that you get to connect the hose up here, and you don't have to be worried about the hose falling off or holding it with something. And I'll show you here real quick. This is very convenient on this size one. That you just thread the hose to here. Damn, I don't have it straight. Open the water. You see, you don't have to worry about the hose dipping in there or putting it on the side of the hole here and holding it with something so it doesn't come off. So that's pretty neat on this particular size tank that comes with that. Obviously, pumps do make a difference, the size of a pump. This one's the 1.5 gallons per minute. Do you need this size? Obviously not. Not if you're using like a 30-gallon one or 20 or whatever, or 15. And it won't really make a big difference on the power this shoots out, because I've had this with the smaller one, the traditional ones that come on the smaller tanks, and it still shoots almost the same. So this has two things that you can do. One is you can unscrew here, and this goes back and forth. And it, basically what this changes is that when it's, depending on how you have it here, this is what does a stream or a spray. But then this also, when it's on spray mode, controls, I guess, what you want to say, like the mushroom that it creates. So it's pretty cool. I just basically leave it sticking out about an inch, 3/4 inch. And then I control here. Now, why do I like it here, not like the traditional ones that, first of all, don't have the distance. This can shoot, 15, 20 feet out. But why do I like this here and not like the traditional ones that are the little thing in the front? Because you don't have to get your hands dirty with the tip. And here you could transition quickly. So for example, where I'm going by, the stuff is the grass that I'm gonna shoot at. Let me make sure it's kind of too close to that while I'm talking here. It says I'm driving by, I'm doing here stuff that is close. I'll have it on that spray mode. But then all of a sudden there's something 15 feet away, but I don't want to drive over there. It's just a shot that I got to do for a specific spot. I could just hit the switch and put it on stream and it'll shoot over there. So I could transition from something that's far and then things that are close by changing here. So that's the reason why this is super cool. It has a long distance, a big spray, and the fact that you could switch it right here. I think, and don't quote me, but I don't know, it was 30 something dollars or something. I'll look it up real quick here. Let's see here. Just to give you an exact number. So yeah, I was wrong. It's $59, $60. It's a long time ago I bought it, so that's why I didn't remember. But it's well worth it. I mean, some wands could be looking at it here now because prices have gone up on everything now. Because I'm sure I didn't pay $50 for it, or 59. But even regular wands, the ones that are not super flimsy, that are 16 or whatever, they're $30 for ones with a little, even a little trigger. And it's just a skinny wand. So yeah, I believe that's a good deal. But my opinion. Now, the way I have this set up, this has a quick connect right here. Or it's not called a quick connect, but something that I can connect quickly. And I have the opposite end, what will hook up into here. I have it already ran permanently connected. And let me remove the seat here into the battery. So basically, this is to me is like a plug and play here. So I'm just gonna come through here and plug it up. I don't have to plug nothing to the battery. It's already here. Let me show you what I did. And it's fused, there's a fuse there. Very important, always when you connect anything straight to your battery, remember it's not gonna be going through the fuse block of the vehicle or whatever equipment it is. So make sure you put an inline fuse, which as you can see, here you got the positive, and then there's a fuse right in here. Let me cover that up. And then the negative over there. And that, I just keep this whole thing stored here, covered up, and then the seat goes on it. Trying to do this with not being in the way of the camera. And that's when things get harder. So that's how it's hooked up. Let me back up a little bit here. Oops. That was a quick up and down there.
Did you hold it so long?
No, my hands are dirty because I was using this chemical here.
Can you push some out? Can I put it there?
Yeah. Yes. So let's continue to fill this up. I'll stir it. You can stir it with a piece of wood or anything, but definitely want to stir it, mix it up. It's about 20 gallons right now. And when we fill it, I'm gonna fill it here to 40 gallons. Let me show you something here in case it happens to anyone. If your tank cracks, you don't have to throw it away. You could buy yourself, if you don't have one, I've had it for other purposes. And I've used it in another video that I did fixing a little pancake maker. You could put plastic back together so it doesn't weld, so it doesn't crack anymore with this little metal pieces that, like an iron type gun, you put these tips on it that kind of like melt themselves into the plastic and keep it all together. And then in the inside, I put epoxy. But epoxy alone, I don't like to use it because, you know, it'll seal. But if there's tube tensions pulling apart, you know, like in case of plastic, you know, flexing because of you moving it around, it doesn't have that strength. This is basically like putting rebar. Let me show you real quick. This is almost like the same effect of putting, rebar in concrete. Yeah, concrete is hard, but when you're pulling it apart and there's a crack, it'll go. That's why rebar gets put. So the crack here was going, one of them like this, and the other one was going down. So on the one down, I put that piece of metal that does little curves. It's melted into there. So when you put it in the heat gun, this on the tip of that special heat gun, which is different, it'll sink itself in because it melts in. Then this crack was sideways. So I put one going like that and the other one this way, but because it's long enough that it's grabbing both sides. Basically, so I stitched it up. And then in the inside, as you can see, it's darker. I put epoxy just to make it watertight. So the epoxy is to make it watertight, but to keep that plastic really, really strong there, it's that metal. And I'm gonna try to remember to put a link to one of those heat guns. Those are really inexpensive, and I've fixed so many plastic things with it. They're meant for anything that realistically is plastic, because it'll melt right in and stitch it up. Let me be finding, while I do this, something to stir it up with. Because it has to be a long stick, and I don't know what happened to the one I had again. Last time I did this was last year. And to stir, I just use random things, really. As a matter of fact, look, I just seen a machete right here. I might just use a machete to stir it. Let me make sure there's no dust on it. Let me go slow because I don't want to splash this on me. I'll stir it again later. That was just a little initial stir to get it started. Okay, let's see what that's by. A little bit over 30 gallons. Let me connect this. Once I connect it, you're gonna feel the pressure build up and stop. There goes the pump turned on. And this pump, I'm gonna have to change because it gave me this problem last year that took a long time to prime. And to make it prime quick, I would just put the hose right at the suction of it and it primed, but it shouldn't be doing that. So after this use, because I'm gonna use it like this, I'm gonna prime it myself. But it sucks because I gotta dip my hands completely in there to get it primed. And then I gotta rinse them off because, of course, that is poison. So I'm gonna go ahead now before it gets too deep, so I don't have to stick my hand all the way in and try to pull the hose up and prime it with having minimal amount of my hands in that water. And that's why the pump ain't stopping. You hear it? It's trying to pump, but it won't prime. Now to do this, I can't pull it out completely because then that's why I got to do it right at the edge there on the top of the water line. And I always got to wet my hands a little bit now to get this done. Let me open this hose here. Anyway, it doesn't want to catch the prime. All right, let me rinse my hands and I'm gonna have to open completely the intake nozzle there because there's a thing to stop from big objects going through. Cuéntame.
Ya me voy.
¿Ya mi llamada la viste o no?
No salí.
Ah, déjame decirle que tú estás ready ya. Ok, y la llamo ahora. Okay, let's continue on here. Stick it underneath and give it all the pressure open. That's not working out. I'm gonna have to remove that screw that I have in the front. On the tip of that's blocking. That's blocking the tip from getting all the water at one shot. That's supposed to help me. It's actually giving me problems now. And this is what I mean, see? So as almost like using it like a strainer, I have this bolt here. Just through the hole of the hose here in the tip. But we're gonna get rid of it right now. Let's get rid of it. And I can push the water in full force. I gotta give me a new pump because I'm not doing this again. See how quick? See that noise? That's it, primed. So how fast? But that bolt in the way was prohibiting me from pushing all the water in that I needed to prime it. Now I gotta wash my hands really quick. I don't like having this chemical on me. Let me tighten this up. Nah, forget about tightening that up. Let me wash my hands. Put a lot of soap on my hands here. So that's filling up. I am rinsing my hands twice just to be safe. I mean, I know that my skin already absorbed some of that, but this is cancerous. So it's not good. I don't use it all the time. People that work with this all the time need to have a lot of safety protective gear and not do what I just did. Because again, I'm doing it once here in the Blue Moon. It's one thing. So somebody that's constantly working with these chemicals, they definitely shouldn't get it on them. Nobody should get it on them. I sure shouldn't either, but this is the last time I'm sticking my hand in there. I need to fix that. I need to fix this that pump, change it, put a new one. Because in case you're thinking about fixing it, I already last year tried fixing it and that didn't work out. I opened up the diaphragm and everything, and I tried. It's unrepairable, at least not within my capabilities. Sure, we take it to a shop that repairs them, but they're so inexpensive that it's not even worth it. So if I can't fix it, I'm putting a new one. They are basically, I guess you could say, oh, I forgot to stir it a little bit. They basically, I guess the word would be disposable. And I'm not putting that bolt back in now. I'm not dirtying my hands again. There shouldn't be anything big in here falling because I did this in here where there's no leaf or anything that's gonna fall in here and clog up my pump. But once I get the new pump in, yeah, I'll put something to block like that screw that block that orifice in half. Now on top of that, this is also going to be moving and shaking itself as I drive. So, you keep that in mind too, that it's not just what I just did, but it'll continue to mix itself even more. Okay, it's rinsing off machete and my hands again. And now, yeah, this stuff will kill you. And as a matter of fact, not only is this cancerous, that long run is bad for you, all of these things like Roundup. I gotta rinse my hands again because I'm touching this now. But inhaling a bunch of it can get you sick. One time, about 20 years ago, when first time I ever used, and it was Roundup actually, the actual brand, and I didn't know anything about it over 20 years ago. The wind was coming towards me when I was spraying it, and I was getting a lot of it. And I thought nothing of it because, when you're young, you don't think anything can do anything to you. You're invincible. And, just a little bit of the mist, I'm like, what is that gonna do to me? Well, that day I felt one of the sickest days. When you catch a cold, well, the worst cold of my life was that day. Like when you're in bed in pain and your whole body feels just bad and achy. That's what that mist did to me. So I respect this a lot. And if I'm spraying, I make sure that I'm going in the direction away from the wind and turn around. If it's the wind's coming my way, I do it from the other side or whatever. So I'm always against the wind. This is not a joke. So let's go. Then I'm gonna put a 2x4 real quick in the back, because when this is almost empty, you know, and this only sucks from one side, I'll lift this up with a 2x4, and that way, you know, the last little inch will be on that side. So I'll just throw it there for now. And let me dry my hands now. And I'm gonna end right here, this clip, and attach now the two-way. I'm gonna put this on the dash. So here you'll have like a side angle view of what I'm doing. And everything that I spray, I stay like a foot away here when I go around this brick wall here. So I have the stream set like in the method that is the stream, and I shake it. I don't like to use here the mist. Do a little spray here around the mailbox. And then I'll do that the fence line coming up in front of me to the right. Right in there, no regular grass growing in there. But I'm gonna put now mist. As you can see, for the outside here, there's no perimeter on this now. Hold on. Branch about to hit me. Alright, here's what I do here. I go on this fence line on full mist. So I could do like nice and wide. Let me see if this is not catching right. Let me see. Because the shaking of this keeps on going down. But I think you can see that. There it goes. I'm gonna miss this whole thing here. Here I'm getting like basically a foot on each side of the fence here. I don't like to do it that thick on this part of the fence line. It's the front of the house, you know? It has to look a little bit prettier than the other side. But that way I still don't have to be weed eating here, you know? See, now instead of getting off, I just change the stream. And I didn't have to get off there. And make this turn. I don't want to come in here with the tractor. So, and I don't want to weed eat. gotta be careful not to spray with good plants. Just where I got weeds, they like to come out. In between these rocks. I'll spray this whole perimeter here. Wind changed. Not good. Over there I had a wind change there real quick. Let me kill all of these here. Let me move this camera to the top so you can see better, I guess. And I'm spraying in here right now. Do a little line here tight. Alright, we're gonna have to do all this area here now, but we're gonna do it coming from the other side so that I'm working against this wind. As a matter of fact, let me go around this. My burn tank. Go back to where I left off earlier that I said I had to go around. Which was on the east side of the shop. See the wind switched again. Down to the other side for a little bit. Yeah, well right now I'm in the spot that the building is blocking me, so even better. Yeah, the wind switched anyway. Put it on stream and I can make it far wherever I want now, and yet without getting off and then do what's tight against me on spray. Like right now I'm doing everything close to me right here, but yet something gets away and I'll put it on stream. So I get to do it all without getting off. Oh, the wind changed again. So let's do this from this side now. Oh yeah, look at that wind coming this way with all that smoke. Here, I can spray all of this. See the wet line I'm leaving behind here. and then I'll come back and I'll do the other side and come back to this later. I keep the door as a reference. Let's start doing here. I'm gonna go slower because I'm gonna do a sweeping so I can cover double the distance without moving so much back and forth to the side by side here. One here because I'm going to do this one a long shot. That I can reach all the way over there. Now the wind is coming this way. Damn. Yep, I'm looking at the smoke over there, my neighbor. Sure enough, the wind shifted. Let's see if it comes back. Yep, got it. This is incredible how this shift out here. 1 second. Come on, I just need you for like change every 30 minutes at least. Give me a chance to reposition myself. Look how this goes so far. Look how far this goes. Look at that. I'm going all the way to the back behind me, but the wind is going that way right now. Now I gotta come from the opposite side, because if I try to spray going this way, again the wind is coming this way right now. So let's reposition. A lot of patience here, time. You can't get desperate, because if not you're gonna get sick of this stuff on you. Let me do this little part up there. Part is windy. Have to go around that wall up here. That wall up there. Go up on it. Might as well take care of this part here too. this little fence line. Damn. Almost missed the turn. Side here. I have to come back from this angle. Let me get off here and just spray it all at distance. Almost done. Let me just get a little bit closer over there. And I'm almost done with this side. Some parts that you don't see ground right now. So it's being that's what I just spray it off. All the rock has to be sprayed. forget. I have to do sections at a time because once it dries, you can't tell. When you're doing a big area like this where you sprayed already, you could tell when you're going to the perimeter of a house, but not when you're doing a big area like this that's just open. So I like to see where I sprayed or not because it dries up. It looks wet at first, but within minutes. Perimeter here real quick where the rock ends. Now come back. Start spraying that. And I did that part already, but I just went over it. Right in front of the shop. And this will probably be my last run in this rock area now. Because I can do everything by changing my nozzle now far and close. You see, whatever's all the way over there, I'm just going to shoot it. I'll make it to the door before I move again. Under the truck. Behind the truck, I'm gonna have to get off. But I'm too far to do the back end of it, so I gotta back up. Oh, I have the brakes on. I heard that noise, the emergency brake was on. There's a weird noise there. See, there's where I couldn't get on. Now, let's do the side of the fence line. That's a part of it I couldn't get to. This one I did, but I'll just go over it because I did this one from the other side. I go over it skinny like this. And as a matter of fact, let me do that other black fence from far. I'll put the stream here. This is a good thing about the stream, you see? Alright, let's go back and do this part there that I missed. killed that from last summer, but it'll grow again in between. So let's let this rain. And let's go fast here because I already did this from the other side. This is just a little extra. And here, I'm not gonna go so close, so I'll do it with the long string. I'm getting close because I got all these branches. Cut through here. And let's go. One more time. Let's do this perimeter now. What in the world did somebody throw a bag that ended up over here? Some on this machine. This still has about 15 gallons left. And that's fine because I'll do it to touch up whenever I see that this didn't pick up good. Yeah. And I moved some to a small little spray to get some parts around the pool. Pretty good. I don't know how long it took me. Maybe a total of an hour from beginning to end. For everything that I did. And then I'll do by hand a little piece of around the pool again. And I'm spraying right now as I go on top of these rocks just for extra. All right, so we did a lot. Main big parts of the property are done. Leave these ready. Actually, I only used 20 gallons. So, I'll do a touch up with it. Like in a week, whenever I see what was left, I didn't catch right. And I'll put some, like I said again, for going around the pool and other areas like that. Plug this. Now this is heavy. There's a lot left. So I might have to get a skid steer here, but let me see what I can do. Is there something here for me to put on? Now I'll have to lower it with a skid steer because it's going to be kind of heavy for one person alone. 20 gallons. Wow. That's right at 20 gallons. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to come back with a skid or wait for my son to get home. Putting down his water. Right, I'm gonna end this video for now, and this will be coming down when I get some help or when I get the skid steer out. I'll catch you on the next video.